The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas, compliments of the season. Wonderful to have you with me this evening. And I will say good morning to our friends in the Sunshine State. Good afternoon to the rest of Australia, which is on daylight saving. And of course, good afternoon to our friends across the ditch in the land of the long white cloud. So how's the volume, folks? Would somebody please type in the question box? Let me know that you can hear me all right. Here we are. Wow, Frank. Oh, thank you, Frank. Frank's a tutorial guy. He can see and hear, double, extra good. And Mike as well. Good to have you, mate. Good to have. Well, wonderful turnout today. We've got a lot of people today. I guess a nice couple of bits of drama in the market does help people's interest. Greg Palladini's with us, of course. Greg, welcome to you, my friend. Jen's with us. Mark L., stalwart Danielcode member. No party without Mark, of course. Another Mark. Michael, yes, that's great to have you with us. Plenty of Michaels. Mike K., Mike S., a few others. Milton, of course, wonderful. Who's this here? Oh, of course, Nathan. Nathan, grand to have you with us, my friend. Peter's with us, various ones of Peter. Peter Mack, of course, who is not a day trader. He's with us. Robert is with us, and as another couple of Roberts. Scott is with us. Scott, welcome. You sound like a new man here. Welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Toddy Long, of course, from Southern California. We go back years and years, don't we, mate? It's wonderful. I hope you're healthy and your family's well. And, of course, Vicky's with us. As I say, we don't have many lady members, so what a delight, Vicky, to have you with us. So that's great. Here we are. And, this is Mike K. He's in New Zealand. He did a live tutorial with me years ago, many years ago in Taupo. Wonderful, wonderful place, Taupo. It's right in the centre of the North Island of New Zealand, and it's right beside the Great Lake, Lake Taupo, which is actually a sunken volcanic cone. It's right below the ski fields. It fills up with snow melt and beautiful, fresh, clear water. It's 1,000 foot deep and about 180 k's around the outside of it. A wonderful place. I was fortunate enough to live right on the edge of Lake Taupo for 13 years. My wife's a Kiwi, and sometime back in about 2000, both her parents were very elderly, and if one wasn't in hospital, the other one was. So I said, she was getting distressed by it all. I said, well, we can go to New Zealand. We'll go and live there for 3 months, and we can give them a hand, which we did. That was the plan. And New Zealand, honestly, is so wonderful. We finished up staying for 13 years, and our kids were pretty well raised there. Both my children know, of course, the words of the New Zealand anthem even better than they know the Australian anthem. They were at school there, did very well. And I'm hoping to get back there in the not-too-distant future, Mike. I really do love New Zealand. Okay, so folks, this is our Christmas special. For a whole lot of us, I think Christmas presents have already arrived. I mean, I guess you'll be exhausted counting all your money because, boy, we've had an absolutely massive week of trading. Quite wonderful in, Forex. It's all about the US dollar strength, of course, and across all of our futures markets. And later on today, I'm going to show you our trades, TO3 and TO3 plus trades, our standard trades we put out every day. I'm going to show them to you in every futures market we cover, with the exception of crude oil, which is not doing anything exciting at the moment. The others certainly are. So let's have a look. I've got a lot of material to go through with you today, folks. So buckle up, relax, get yourself comfortable, and let's get going. So 2024, our mission since we started in 2007 late 2007. It's a long time ago, isn't it? What fun we've had. It's always been to make you rich. There's a very basic, rather crude statement, but that's the reality. The business of trading is the business of making money. That's why we do it, and that's how we measure our success. So if you're not making a lot of money with your trading, you got the wrong trading program, and you should switch to Danielcode straight away, because we continue to do remarkably well. So traditionally, this has meant futures and forex trading, but during the year, crypto has taken on a much better picture. With some adoption by the majors, Blackstone, JP Morgan. And I love the hypocrisy, for years and years, JP Morgan, I remember Jamie Dimon saying, oh, ridiculous, it's worth zero, it's just no value at all. And of course, as soon as the regulators allowed some trading in various crypto-related products, well, the big boys wanted to be the first to say, oh, well, we'll run the fund, and sotto voce charge the fees, of course. And we're going to look at a couple of pretty interesting crypto trades today. So Danielcode works exactly the same on all markets. All of these markets try to make themselves out to be very different, and have their own language. A lot of them, crypto has a ton of it. Hodlers instead of holders. They use some funny words. I guess the people who are into it enjoy it. But it works exactly the same. Futures, forex, crypto, ETFs, and even stocks. They all trade exactly the same with Danielcode. And as well as showing you the money, I always have to show you the beauty and poetry of Danielcode trading. I'm in love with trading. I've been in love with trading for a long time. And I guess because I've been able and had the gift of discovering the Danielcode, I've been able to sort of keep my enthusiasm at massive levels. And the reality is, folks, that after all these years, and I mean, we've been going for 15 years, something like that, I guess now. But I was trading for 20 years before that. And nobody is more surprised and delighted with the Danielcode trading than I am. It's an absolute joy to me. And you'll be amazed at the precision and target recognition. It's a total delight, and it's totally unique. All these price levels that we use in our TO3 and TO3 plus trading, they are exclusive to Danielcode, of course. They've never seen anything like them. They're not fibs. They're not old highs or old lows. They're none of those things. They're totally unique. So what we got in 2004 was that we were privileged enough to have some of our ex-students come in and say they'd be happy to talk to us about their experience while they were learning the Danielcode and doing their Danielcode tutorial, of course, headed up by Mark L., who's with us today, as he always is. And Mark L. made more than 1,000% on margin trading natural gas for the 2016 calendar year. So here's a challenge for you folks. Natural gas, the NG3 contract in Trade Navigator 057. Don't worry about the rollovers. Just treat them as if it's all real, which of course they are. The real price is real money. And if you're not making 800% or better on margin, you're not reaching your potential, and you should be talking to me. Now, the margin back then was 3,200 in 2016, Mark. Correct me if I'm wrong, mate, won't you? And Mark made something over 1,000%, and we've had a number of people have very similar results. One of them, a very interesting guy, thanks, Mark. I'm going to tell you about an instrumentary. Rolf, welcome to you. I'm glad you made it home, matey. I bet you're having a wonderful time, eh? Good on you. Wonderful. Oh, it's snowing. And who we got? Oh, Tony DD from snowy Chicago. Oh, the hell with that, mate. I'm violently opposed to that weather. Bless you for being strong and magnificent, Tony. Wonderful stuff. What I was telling you about is why we express profit or loss as a percentage of margin. And that's because margin is absolutely the minimum cost of trading. You can't trade futures. Forex is the same with, it's not called a margin, slightly different, but it has the same effect. It's good faith money. It's better than token money. The reality is that you can't trade without margin. So that's the ultimate absolute minimum cost of trading, which no one can avoid. I know if you're big enough, you can put up securities and have a facility, but it still relates to the dollar value of the margin. That's why we should be expressing our profits in terms of margin, because absolutely the minimum cost of doing business in the trading world. And that actually understates our profits, because for those of you who've done Danielcode time trading and understand our counter trend trade strategy, in most cases our maximum risk is no more than one ATR, or average true range, taken over a 29-day period, and that excuse me, tends to be about 1/3 of margin. And that's the real money cost to us, the real dollar risk. But when we say express this as a percentage of margin, that's actually conservative, because our real risk is considerably less than margin. So we had Mark kind enough to talk to us. Then we had Justin from the Hunter Valley, who's probably with us today, who's doing great things for us with his back testing. You can call it paper trading or back testing. Back testing's probably got a better run to it, hasn't it? Which is silly, because we sometimes get comments from people saying, "Oh, it's only paper trading. It's all BS." And that's a valid criticism unless you're doing it properly. But Trade Navigator, in fact, almost all trading programs have a facility where you can nominate a market and the time you're interested in, the period you're interested in, and it will then display you that market up to the last completed bar. So you can't see past the last completed bar. And that's exactly the same as your live trading. You have to make your buy, sell, and position your stops based on the last completed bar. And if you're doing your back testing properly and totally honestly and using that facility, you will find that those results are very, very close to real world trading. They can never be exact, of course, but we use some conventions about whether the discretionary trailing stop gets hit or not. But if you do it the way I'm suggesting, as my students all do, I hope, you will find that it's very, very close to real world trading. So after Justin, we had Amy and Scott. And they were delight. Scott's an interesting character. And Amy's a very lovely lady, and she'd never seen a trading chart in her life. Scott had done a bit of trading, but years ago. And they came and did their Danielcode tutorial, and they returned 500% on wheat in, I think, about 10 months. And another good result with the Russell 2000 in their back testing. And finally, Justin, again with his massive analysis, he back tested every contract that we cover in futures, every forex pair that we cover, and some other markets that we don't cover. And as he says, he did more than 100 years of back testing. Well, that's not suggesting he's Methuselah, but what it means is that he did 1 year or 2 years for some markets. He did 8 years for a number of other markets. In total, it added up to well over 100 years of back testing. And the results, they're there available to you. I'll show you the link in a moment. He's just been, like Mark and like Greg Palladini and Justin, such an amazing gift to our people, to our friends, to our clients, to our guests, that you can have these guys who work so hard share with you their knowledge and their impressions of their trading journey. Excuse me. So, these are the links to the 4 videos that we've made kindly with our students, telling us about their experience during their learning their tutorial and afterwards. Now, these links aren't active, but if you go to the website www.thedanielcode.com, you'll see these prominently on the home page, and those links are active, and you can just click on them. Each of these little interviews with our clients is sort of between 20 and 30 minutes, and I do really suggest that you take the time to listen to these guys. They're wonderful people. They've been so generous and helpful to everyone by their generosity of sharing their experiences. It's really something that you should encompass. So, here's a question, and I thought that this was a question that really gets to the nuts and bolts of why we're trading. Do you sincerely want to be rich? And I think the answer for that, with almost everyone, is absolutely yes, I do. And it's a wonderful statement. It's not original. This statement was originally coined by the great immortal and slightly immoral Bernie Kornfeld. This is long, long ago, folks. Most of you won't remember those days, but Bernie was the man who invented mutual funds, and he cut a swathe through the trading world in his heyday. And really interesting that I remember it in particular because one of the things they were doing, and what they did basically with his mutual funds, he got together the best traders, the best salesmen, I should say, the best salesmen you could ever meet as a bunch. And I was privileged to meet a lot of them. I had my law practice going in Sydney in those days, and I got to know a number of these guys, and they were all, without exception, extraordinary salesmen, the absolute cream of the crop. And they had all sorts of products they were selling them, but one of the products they were selling was blocks of vacant land at a supposed resort development called Ocean Shores, which is on the east coast of Australia, probably an hour and a half south of where I am at the Gold Coast. And it had been promoted by Pat Boone, the crooner, the singer. That's before your time for most of you as well. But what Pat Boone had identified is there was a particular belt of latitude on the east coast of Australia and the west coast of northern hemisphere America that were just blessed with ideal conditions of somewhere you'd want to live. And he did a lot of development in those areas. It was a big deal. But at the time, Ocean Shores had been marketed. It was all set up on paper. Don't think they'd actually started digging any roads yet, but it was a bit of a, it was a bit on the nose. And this was towards the end of the Vietnam War. And a whole lot of Americans were coming out to Australia on R&R, Sydney in Melbourne in particular. And one of the things that these guys from Bernie Kornfeld's mutual fund was doing was selling these guys these blocks of vacant land, fully financed, nothing much on them, really just a couple of lines on a chart of to become that in the future. And probably 10 years after that, it looked absolutely dreadful. But I can tell you now, Ocean Shores is an absolute high-class prestige development, and houses at Ocean Shores are millions and millions of dollars. It's really come into its own. It's just a wonderful, wonderful community down there. So as Bernie said, do you sincerely want to be rich? And if you do, you've got to take some steps. You've got to take some action to help yourself. Back in those days, you could have bought a block of land in Ocean Shores for $3,000 and be sitting on 3 or 4 million today. But better than that, you can get yourself organized to learn a Danielcode time trading. And this next slide I've called Living the Dream. And this is a email I got last week from one of our students. I've called him CE, that's not his real name, but he's a wonderful, wonderful student. Very, very intelligent, wonderful vocabulary, and genuinely nice guy. And interesting enough, he's direct descendant of one of the royal families of the South Pacific. Hell of a character. And he wrote to me and said, I did 15,737% on margin with 2 XRP trades using DCTC for entry. You know, that's the Danielcode trading charts, the Danielcode time charts, I should say, Danielcode time charts, which once you've done a tutorial, you'll be using the Danielcode time charts to create your buy and sell signals based on time. Quite extraordinary. Nobody else knows about this. Very few people. I don't think anyone actually teaches trading on time. Certainly no one understands time the way I have been blessed to understand it for many years now. And it's extraordinary. It's unlike anything you've ever seen or heard of. It doesn't use Fibonacci ratios. It doesn't use old highs or old lows as support or resistance. It just stands actually straight on the basis that these are time signals. Extraordinary stuff. And then he says he went on to Beyond Masterclass to follow the trend. And Beyond Masterclass is our newest and latest tutorial. And what it does is it tells you when the conditions are right to relax your stop loss procedures a little bit and let the market run. In other words, once you've learned, and you really need to learn Danielcode time trading before you even think of the next step, but once you've got that completely mastered, you can come to me and we can do a Beyond Masterclass for you, and that will teach you when it's safe to relax your stop loss regime and to let the market move a bit so you follow the ups and downs of the market and stay in the trades. And as he says, he was using, after he had his entries from the Danielcode time charts, he was using the Beyond Masterclass technique and the Beyond Masterclass proprietary indicator that we give you as part of the tutorial to follow the trend. And he turned a $5,000 US account into $200,000 in a matter of weeks. And as he says, thank you for turning me into a professional trader. My sincerest respects, CE. What a wonderful guy. You can learn all of these skills right now, folks. I make it easy for you. And I'm so proud of you, CE. I don't know if you're with us today. Often your sister, Melissa, is with us. She's come to a number of our tutorials lately. I don't know whether she's with us today or not. Let me have a quick look. A lot of people have come in since we started this. Oh dear, here we are. Akshay's with us. Hello, Akshay. Good to have you, my friend. I don't see Melissa, but no doubt they'll be watching the recording of this later on. So that really is living the dream, isn't it? And it has a very special significance. First of all, it's a trade in crypto. This is a minor crypto coin called Ripple that he's been trading, and he's been trading it on Binance, I assume, with 50 times leverage, and that's why we trade futures and Forex. And crypto is in the same category, that you can get really significant leverage in those particular markets. Now, leverage is a two-edged sword. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get your head chopped off very, very quickly. The good news is, once you understand Danielcode, as I taught it to CE, you do know what you're doing, and you can equally make an awful lot of money in a very short time. Think through some of the other implications of that. Most of our clients, in fact all of our clients I would say, are just private people. They're private traders who want to get their trading better. They're people who haven't done any trading, would like to learn this amazing lifetime skill. And what they have in common, we don't attract, we've never advertised over the years, so we don't attract any interest from the big end of town. Our clients are all folks like you, mum and dad folks, and young people, all the same. And funding is a problem. They'll have enough funds to pay their tutorial cost, and they hope to start trading with a small account. And I tell them all, no matter how much money you've got, because we do have the occasional wealthy client, don't start big, start small. Get the smallest market account you can see and can find, and 5,000 or 10,000 is pretty standard as a starting account for our clients. So one of the things about Danielcode for me to design this magnificent trading system, I didn't design it, it was revealed to me. I think those of you who've done a tutorial will know what I mean. Amongst other things, it has to be capable of taking a pretty small account and turning it into something significant. And that's entirely different to, just excuse me a second. We're slapped right back in the middle of an early summer here, and it's been raining non-stop, and the growth in lovely trees, plants, bushes, everything else is absolutely staggering. But of course, that's brought the hay fever with it in force, so do excuse me, folks. Let's keep moving on here. That as well as sending me that email, CE was kind enough to send me his a couple of his trading tickets. So you can see the actual dollars here. This is real money, and it's big money, isn't it? 5,000 into 20,000. That's a serious bit of trading. Here's one of his trading tickets. Here's the other one. So you can see all this stuff is verified. Of course it is. So think some more about he's now a super trader, of course. Think about his super trades. First of all, we needed a trading program capable of creating super profits, by which I mean a totally new method of trading that does not involve a plethora of studies or indicators. Then it needed to be dynamic, and this was a very personal decision because I get bored easily. So I need lots of stimulation, hence our Danielcode time trading system, where you're in the market almost every day. The other factor that came into that is everyone's got their pet hate in trading. My pet hate is missing a profitable trade. And the only way I could be sure of getting all the profitable trades is with Danielcode time trading, to be trading in the market every day. And that's what we do. It also needed to work across all markets, futures, forex, crypto, ETFs, and even stocks. As I said, I've been telling you, our clients are private people with limited resources, and start small. I tell everyone that when you've doubled your account, you can double your trades. So 5,000 to 10,000 is a typical starting bank. That means drawdowns must be minimal, which is why there is such an emphasis on risk minimization and risk control with Danielcode Masterclass futures and forex trading. It's pretty extraordinary that that's been able to come about at all. Anyway, here's a bit more about CE. He started by doing, he was a retired public servant. He had a very senior position in the Australian Defence Department, and he took early retirement. And he came to me 1 year, it's a day late now, it was 1 year, I think, when I wrote this 1 year ago. The full Danielcode tutorial, which is one-on-one with me for as long as it takes, but usually 6 or 7 sessions, on GoTo, which we use for our conferencing facilities. They're less than 90 minutes each, those sessions. But in these tutorials, I teach you everything worth knowing about trading or financial markets. Futures, Forex, ETFs, crypto, the lot. They all trade exactly the same on Danielcode. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. The Forex people go to a lot of trouble to try and distinguish their product as being different. They have pips instead of ticks. Crypto goes a whole lot further and has all sorts of funny expressions like hodlers instead of holders. And none of that actually matters because all markets trade exactly the same with the Danielcode. As you can see with what you're seeing today. CE had a passion to become a really top trader and run a hedge fund. And of course, to do that, he had to first show that he'd be a super trader. So I taught him variously in Bangkok, Canberra, and Brisbane, which is Queensland's capital city, folks. And their real claim to fame is that they're only 60 minutes drive from the fabulous Gold Coast, where I live and where the Danielcode magic is happening. And having mastered the Danielcode time trading procedures, and that's what all our clients who you've heard me comment that they made 600% on margin, 800% on margin and more, etc. That's what they're doing. They're trading the Danielcode time trading procedures. And fortuitously, after CE had finished his main Danielcode trading tutorial and got really on top of trading time, to do the Beyond Masterclass tutorial, you really need to understand Danielcode time trading fully and absolutely, because Beyond Masterclass is not itself a trading system. Danielcode time trading is a trading system. Danielcode price trading is a trading system. But Beyond Masterclass is an adjunct to Danielcode time trading with this incredible facility that it tells you where it is safe to just relax your stops a bit and let the market move around a little bit more than we would normally, and that way you can stay in these trades for much, much longer. It maximizes your profits with those. And to do these, the full tutorials with me one-on-one, they're expensive, but there's no better way of becoming one of our elite traders. For the uninitiated, creating and trading Danielcode time signals and holding some of those trades for days or weeks, it's wholly based on the time signals derived from Daniel's secret code. It's unlike any trading system you have seen or heard of. It is totally unique creation. Here we are. You can read this for yourself, folks. What I want to tell you, for those who are new to us, we're a very small business. We've never advertised. So the big end of town has no interest in us. They've never heard of us. We don't attract that interest. Our clients are small private traders. Better still, folks who have no knowledge of trading financial markets at all. They're easy for me because I don't have to spend the first few hours getting rid of all your preconceived ideas of trading that you've learnt elsewhere. It is the surest route I know to achieve the aim of being successful, being rich, and here are the people that have done this and talk to you about what they've achieved. And I recognize the premium way of learning these life skills is the full one-on-one Danielcode tutorials with me, followed by Beyond Masterclass, also one-on-one with me. But I recognize that there's very substantial cost in there that just some people just are not available to at this stage. So I've created the Danielcode Teach Yourself to Trade video series, and that allows you to learn this vital must-have material at a greatly reduced cost. Take the full tutorial if you have the resources, or take the TTT course as an alternative. Both paths are seriously important for your wealth. And you will learn in the TTT session everything except Beyond Masterclass. Now, remember your aim is to become a really super trader on the Danielcode time cycles, and you can do that right now, either one-on-one with me or under our TTT note. And interesting how people switch around. I'm trying to demonstrate that Danielcode covers all markets. Greg Palladini, who's with us today, he started off as a Forex trader and switched to futures after he'd done his second Danielcode tutorial, which was to learn Danielcode time trading. Joris, who's excuse me, a fine young Austrian gentleman. He learned his tutorial on futures contracts, as did CE. But he is, was and still is a Forex trader, and he's one of our very best Forex traders. He's the guy I've mentioned before. Started with one of these prop firms that if you impress them, they will fund you. They will give you a trading account. And he went from $10,000 to $200,000 with 8 separate Danielcode Forex trades. Pretty fantastic stuff. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Here's what we're talking about from CE. He was trading a crypto contract, and of course the whole time I have been talking to him, we've never looked at a crypto chart, or we've looked at a futures chart, but it's exactly the same technique. So you can see his final comment at the bottom. He says, thanks to what you've shown me, I remain completely agnostic. Whether futures still the primary target, 7-figure trades like you do, Forex or crypto with DC, it's all good. In fact, it's easy to see with Forex, for examples of all the waves with Beyond Masterclass. Be really careful that under waves, he means waves, not anything to do with Elliott wave theory, which is interesting, but from a trading point of view, I think it's a virus. Okay, let's move on. So sign up for your tutorial. All markets trade the same with Danielcode. Now this Christmas break, markets get a bit quiet. Don't forget the seasonal bullish aspect. The seasonal bias for S&P is very bullish between Christmas and New Year's Day. But markets get quiet. I've got plenty of time to teach you. And I do suggest to you that this is a really good time to sign up. Get your Danielcode tutorial started. You want that 200,000 present. Learn to trade futures or Forex or crypto or ETFs, all at Danielcode. And do it now is the best time. Okay, quick look at our 6-day charts, folks. I create these twice a week for our clients who are subscribed to the Danielcode super package, which is everything. And you can see this is a 6-day chart. Every bar on this chart is made out of 6 trading days. And this was the chart 2 weeks ago. And you can see how S&P was reaching up for those blue line numbers. Now, as every bar is created of 6 trading days, you wouldn't expect this to be as accurate as our daily charts. But amazingly, it is at least as accurate, and in some cases more accurate, because you can see these numbers a long way out. You can see these numbers sitting here, and if we move on, this is what's happened. It's gone straight through those first 2 blue lines that it encountered. You can see that on the high bar here, it had target recognition at its high and even better target recognition on its close. Target recognition is valid at the bar, high, low, or the close. And this is just so incredibly accurate. It's about 35 or 40 ticks variance at the close for a 6-day chart. It's extraordinary, isn't it? This is what that chart looks like now. And you can see how it's gone straight to one of the red line retracement targets. So here's a better example. This is UST bonds, and you can see I've put a few quotations or marks on this saying 1 tick variance, 0 variance, 2 ticks variance. And what we're talking about is the variance from target there. These red and blue lines become Danielcode trading targets, and we expect the market to find them either at the bar, high, low, or at the close. Both are valid. And you can see this chart This was T-bonds. It's got here on Sunday. This was actually T-bonds over a week ago, and it had just made a start of a turn right at that red line with a zero variance. Look what's happened. You've had this lovely big line, big bar, sell bar down to here. Where's it stopped? Exactly at the first blue line it came to, with one tick variance. I mean, you can see that. It's sitting there looking at you. Just push that thing back so you can see what I mean. Here are the blue lines. Here they are right here. Okay, and you can just see the next one that comes up, whoosh, it's gone straight to those blue lines. The precision with which Danielcode finds these targets, which it creates, is uncanny and amazing, and you should be thinking about that all the time. This is our Teach Yourself to Trade video series, folks, which I invented in recognition of the cost that the one-on-one sessions with me incur. You can do this, learn to yourself, teach yourself to trade videos at a fraction of the cost. There's that banner you saw it on the website on the homepage. And there are 4 lessons, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can read about them here, or you can go through it at your leisure at the Danielcode website. But the purpose is to get you to learn how to create and trade Danielcode time signals. It's the safest and most profitable trading method that I know of. The safest and most profitable trading method I have ever seen or ever heard of. It's as simple as that. And I've been saying that for some years now. Nobody's contradicted me yet. This is our masterclass tutorial, folks. There's the link for this. Is the one-on-one session with me, if that's going to be within your affordability range. If you have the opportunity to do it, I do recommend you do it. And you can see that Mark L. and Greg Palladini, who both of whom are with us today, have kindly allowed me to use their names to tell you how much they've enjoyed it all. So, special Christmas offer: if you can book and start your Danielcode Masterclass live tutorial one-on-one with me before Christmas, I can offer you a $1,000 discount. The Aussie dollar had a big couple of down days, so I can afford to do that. This is your path. If you seriously aspire to be an elite trader, email me. And whether you're interested in futures or Forex or stocks or crypto, all of this stuff trades exactly the same on Danielcode. And as a special offer, when you you'd buy the Teach Yourself to Trade, the 4 courses, I will add a 90-minute free teaching session one-on-one for you and me to tie everything together. Absolutely no cost to you. So email me now, folks. Okay, momentum bars. You've seen this slide before. I've left it in there because these momentum bars that I've been developing over many years, and we call this Beyond Masterclass, and it supplements the Danielcode time trading methodology, and it's quite extraordinary. It's really good that CE was kind enough to send me details of his big crypto trade using Beyond Masterclass. Okay, so here we are. Something extra. Think about FlipMe. Our purpose with these webinars, folks, is to entertain you and also to educate you. And in these webinars, you'll learn all sorts of things. FlipMe is one of them, which I've talked to you periodically about for a couple of years now. Even got a section on the website where I put up examples. I don't do it every day. It's not a product that we're selling. It's free to you. You've learned it from your tutorials. That's from your Danielcode webinars. That's fine. I want to add you a new one for you. This is called Square Me. This is a methodology that will keep you out of markets that are consolidating. Combine this with Beyond Masterclass rules, you can now create a go and no-go signals for your Danielcode trade charts. And with Masterclass, Beyond Masterclass, the flip me rules and now the square me rule, it is almost impossible to lose. Now, that's a silly statement. We have lots of losses. We don't have a particularly high win rate because I've optimized this product for dollars, not for percentage win. You don't get paid any money for percentage win. You get paid for the dollars. And our win rate is 52 to 62%, sometimes more commonly around 54%. But the big thing with the Danielcode is your average win are more than twice your average losses. And that's extraordinary, because when you can get to that stage, if your average win is twice your average loss, you only need a 25% win rate to break even. The rest of it's all cream, isn't it? So at 52, 54, 58% win rate, the profits are enormous, as you've seen. Have a look at Square Me in the next slide. I'm very interested in Square Me, and I'm very interested in the go, no-go area that you'll learn from beyond Masterclass, because losses kill your profits. I mean, it's pretty simple, as simple as that. And markets have a nasty habit of consolidating. One of these is a serious consolidation. This is the Russell, incidentally, futures contract. And Square Me starts with a square. Really, it's a rectangle, but square was a shorter word, so I said Square Me, not rectangle me. But you can see for any 1 or 2 bar counter trend, you see at the low there in both these examples, you had 1 bar up for the first example, 2 bars up for the second example. Link those, the up bars, 1 or 2 up bars, link them to the swing low and pull across your tools. Trade Navigator's got this tool. It just looks like little red and blue squares overlying each other. All trading packages have this, platforms have this tool. So link the 1 bar up or the 2 bar up with the swing low. The other way is exactly the same. When you've done that, you should start to be suspicious that you might be going into a counter trend. If you can see 3 bars, not including inside bars, or 4 bars, including inside bars, within that rectangle, you're in a consolidation. And if you're in a consolidation, the smart thing is get out. Take your stops to market, just get flat. You're never going to be short of trading opportunities. And if you've been listening to me over the years, however many number of markets you're trading now, you should be looking at twice that number on the weekend. So if you were trading, say, 2 or 3 markets now, you should be aware that if any of these markets go into a consolidation and you get flat in that market, where will you go next? Where's the next market to start trading? Because we don't want you sitting around with a lot of unallocated dollars. We want that to go into the next market that you've identified as moving up or down. Remember, in Forex and futures, the same in crypto futures now, you make exactly the same money going up as you make going down. So we need to learn to trade both ways. That's the big difference. For the world at large, particularly, I suspect, a whole lot of younger traders who've never seen a bear market, they are going to get the shock of their lives when we finally get a serious correction in these equities. Because, I mean, to say they're overloved and overbought is to say the blindingly obvious, isn't it? So anyway, start with this. You link the 2 bars up to the swing low or 2 bars down to the swing high. Then keep extending that. As you can see, as long as the bars remain inside that rectangle, that's telling you as soon as you see 3 bars in that rectangle, stop trading that market. Wait for a breakout. And the breakout is not what you think. You'll see with all of these markets a little example for the first 2 that I've shown you of a bar breaking out through the high and then reversing. A breakout of the range of this consolidation is not a breakout. It's just a false attempt to confuse you. What constitutes a breakout is a close outside this rectangle, which has been created by the size of the previous bars in the consolidation. So this pattern is completely created by the market itself. You can see sometimes it'll break out of one and go straight into another. If you can identify even 50% of these breakouts early on, the opposite of breakouts, the consolidations early on, you will give a massive, massive boost to your bottom line. So I call this square me. Think about it, put it on your charts, have a look at it. You'll be amazed, and that would be wonderful. Now, I've been talking to you a bit lately about the fourth seal from Danielcode and from Frank DB. And at our previous webinar, which will be going on for 2 weeks ago, in the invitation, I said to you, we are likely to get a correction, and it's likely to be much sooner than you think. For this week's webinar today, in the invitation, I said to you that we are likely to get a correction, and you will be amazed how far away that target for the correction are. And Greg Palladini asked me to show you that in some detail. So I'm going to do that for you very shortly. But this is Terry's comment. If you're not subscribed to the fourth seal, folks, you're not a serious trader. You're doing yourself an injustice. This is Danielcode as interpreted by Frank DB, who came to me as a student back in 2011, said he'd never seen a financial market, but loved the way I wrote. I used to write a lot of articles back in the day. And would I teach him trading? Well, that was the first tutorial at which I taught the fourth seal. And Frank took it all in and has been developing it himself ever since, and he's very, very good at it. I can put my hand on my heart and say he's the only analyst I know who was brave enough to declare that January 2022 was not the all-time high, that there had to be a correction and that there would be new greater highs, which is exactly what's happened. Exactly what's happened. So you should be subscribed to this. He covers S&P, crude oil, and gold. The gold coverage is stunning. And you should get subscribed to that. Just email Terry, support@thedanielcode.com, and he'll get you fixed up. Or you think you can actually simply subscribe under the services page. So debt, we've got a lot of debt, haven't we? America's got some massive debt. One of the amazing things that history will look at is that 2 years ago, the Congress agreed to temporarily suspend the debt limit. US has a debt limit that's set by Congress and subject to legislation, and they agreed, the Republicans with them agreed to lift the debt limit. Well, look back at this in a couple of years and you'll see that Biden, Pelosi, and Obama, whose staff have been running the White House. You want to ask who's running the country because Joe's not with us. And all those staff in the White House, largely Obama's people. This is really, in many respects, Obama's third term. And the money they've voted themselves for various projects is absolutely extraordinary. So extraordinary they can't even spend it themselves. So remember that Trump wants the debt limit lifted. It's that legislation that removed or suspends the debt limit a couple of years ago. That expires in either March or June 2025. I'm not quite sure. And of course, Trump wants that debt limit lifted. He's not a guy who's going to save money. Trump. He's a big spender, and he showed that when he almost single-handedly managed to almost double the total debt outstanding at his last term, as did Obama. Who was worse. But getting extensions to the debt limit in US next year will not be easy. And the Republicans don't have very big margins, do they? They've only got about a margin of 4 or 5 people in the House, 3 or 4 in the Senate, and there are a lot of people with very independent minds in US Congress, and they won't take kindly to being told what to do. For our poor country here, Australia, this Labor government's done what Labor governments always do: tax and spend, down the drain as quick as you can think of it. We're now looking at deficits for years and years to come after Chalmers and Albo have done their bit of stupidity. Now, the correction, Greg, for you. This COVID correction back in March 2020 is a real bulwark of this chart now. And you can see, if you look at the recent high and correction, the January 2022 high and the correction, you can see that it went exactly to within a handful of ticks of the 50% retracement from that high to the COVID flash crash low. For those of you who don't understand, back then the government, the population actually suddenly decided that COVID was a real threat, and we had the fastest bear market in history. We had 24 days down. I call it the COVID flash crash, but that low came exactly on a 59-day cycle from the 2000 .com high and the 2007 S&P high and the 2009 low. If you wanted to learn more about that, click on the articles tab at my website and read the article that says the other way, particularly the longer term cycles, the 59 and the 24-day cycles. So you can see what that correction gave us, exactly 50%. So what are we going to get now? Well, this is where we are now. And if we just had a standard correction, nothing fancy, nothing exciting, not even a bull market, the 50% correction is down 9,527 ticks away from where the high of where we are at the moment. That's on the S&P. NASDAQ is even more dramatic. But that is a standard normal correction. The next level down, the 59% level, which is further down, the next red line down, that is still, actually we're at the 59, the next one down is the 74%. That would still be a normal correction, and it would take out the 2023 low. And I think that's what we've got coming up. It'll probably take time. This market, most incredible bull market of all time, it'll take time, and a lot of people are going to lose their money before their brain gets in the right spot. Okay, so we've used up a lot of time, folks. Let me quickly run through for you what we're doing this week. This is the chart of the S&P. You could add Germany's DAX. It's down about $9,400 on its TO3 sell signal. And this one here is the S&P. You can see it had a buy signal that failed. That's the flip me signal. And you got short there, and it was down about 8,800 to today's close. Here's gold. We had wonderful trades up and down in gold. Been marvelous. This latest trade here, we're up $10,600, and the market's fighting to try and find support at those blue lines, and it hasn't yet. It might just poke through and get stopped at the next one. Here is copper. This was a TO3 plus sell signal in copper. Straight down 3,700. Now remember, all of these dollar values, folks, are per one contract, and some of these contracts were a lot smaller than others, and some are a lot bigger than others. Here's natural gas, which got us wrong-footed on its first little rally out of the low, but kindly paying us back now. Nice big huge bar today. $3,600 up for us on one contract in natural gas. This is the NASDAQ. This was a straight TO3 and blue line sell signal. Unfortunately, I've taken the blue line off. It was right on the close, exactly. And it's just a straight Danielcode TO3 sell signal. Down it goes. $17,000 odd. Nothing odd about 17,000. Very lovely 17,000 into today's close. This was the Russell. This had a flip me sell. It had a buy signal, a TO3 and a blue line buy signal. Very unusual for those to fail. We had one bar up that set up the flip me sell at the failure point, which was the initial stop loss on the buy order. When that's taken out, Danielcode signals are so powerful that when they fail, that becomes an automatic stop and reverse, which we call flip me. Nice little trade down here, $5,500. This is soybeans. It had a TO3 plus sell signal back quite a while, and it's just gradually rolled over and rolled over and rolled over, and then got a good bit of momentum down to 951.4, which it found at 951.0 was the low on Wednesday. And you can see key reversal bar from a known Danielcode blue line today. That is going to be the first momentum bar for those of you folks who have been following Beyond Masterclass. Here's silver. This has been an excellent trade, hasn't it? 14,700 straight down. Greg, I know you prefer trading silver to gold, and we've been saying for some years in some respects silver is a better market. Here was wheat. We've had two rundowns in wheat, a TO3 sell signal, and then a buy that failed and turned into an outside bar, which is an automatic stop and reverse for us. And I put the word fail on that bar and the maximum amount of our stop loss on that particular trade was $448. So you can see how much we control the stop loss procedures. Very, very important. And I think here we have US T-bonds. Same thing, two big trades down there, interrupted by an outside bar, 2,800 on one, almost 2,000 on the other. Pretty nice 4,800. And Forex, of course, folks. And the reason I don't talk so much about Forex at these webinars is that we don't get the data on them until late. Trade Navigator are not publishing intraday data on Forex after the close, so we have to wait for the actual 6:30 end of day data. This is the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. It's all about US dollar strength. Really nice, simple TO3 buy signal here that got elected and failed straight away with an outside bar. That pushed it into the flip me zone where we got short straight down $1,260 in this trade. This is dollar yen. Have a look at this trade. It roared through a plethora of blue lines, and that's because it's had an awful lot of swings on the way up. And every time there's a new swing, it creates new red and new blue lines. Look what it's done. It's just roared through those lines. And look where it's closed. That's like 30 ticks away from that blue line, which is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Lovely trade, $4,500 there. So remember, folks, creating and trading Danielcode time signals will make you an elite trader and a whole lot of money. If you haven't already, folks, do help yourself to a free trial. I have taken you a bit over time, for which I apologize, but do have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'll be working through pretty well, and no doubt we'll talk in the interim. Finally, here's our disclaimer, which I want you to take seriously. It is very easy to lose all of your money trading if you do not know what you are doing. The good news is once you do know what you're doing, it is equally easy to make a whole lot of money. And the best way to do that is to do the Danielcode TTT, Teach Yourself to Trade, or the full Danielcode Masterclass tutorial. Either way, I bid you farewell for the moment. Have a wonderful lead into the holidays. Be safe, be careful, and I will be thinking of all of you. And thank you for being with me for this wonderful year that we've had. And bye-bye for now, my folks. Thank you, Akshay. You too, my friend. Glad to see you here so well. And Mark, thank you, my friend. Yes, catch up in the new year. That would be grand. I'd love to do that. And Rolf, glad to see you made it back to New Zealand. Okay, folks, that's me for the moment. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye for now.